3 years ago, I took my son to the Maldives for his spring break. He was 10 years old. Last year, I took him to San Juan, Puerto Rico for spring break. And this year for his birthday, I'm taking him on a European cruise. You might be thinking, this kid is super spoiled. Oh, that sounds really expensive. But what if I told you that I never spent more than $500 on any of those trips? I'm gonna tell you exactly how I do it so that you can do it too.
We getting money, money, money. When Jimmere sharing gems with her getting money, money, money. Getting a line, growing money and time. Getting money, money, money. It's your life, trying to give more life. Getting money, money, money.
Hey there, my name is Gwen Jimmere, and I am a serial entrepreneur who has grown multiple companies to 7 figures and beyond. But I've also had my fair share of money challenges. I'm here on the Get Money Show to teach you exactly how to build a 7-figure net worth no matter what your current income is so that you can live the life that you truly want. Before we get into it, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to this channel because I'm always bringing you top tier financial information, including ways like this to save thousands of dollars, but continue to live the life of your dreams. So I don't always take my son on trips. Sometimes I go by myself and sometimes I go with friends. Case in point, one time I went to Italy for $399, and that was the price for 2 people. I know all this sounds insane, but I promise you it's 100% legit. I'm gonna tell you where I get my travel deals from. So let's just get right into it, because I know you want to know. For most of my travel deals, I get them from a site called Travelzoo. And Travelzoo has a bunch of travel deals, but every single week they publish something called the Top 20. And that's where I get most of my deals from. These are the top 20 best deals across the entire internet. This is great for me because it keeps me from having to search all around the internet and waste a whole lot of time. I've been using the site for years. But the only thing with Travelzoo is that the deals change weekly. And because they're such great deals, they often sell out. So you gotta be quick. This is a think long, think wrong kind of situation. So when you see the deal and you're like, ooh, I should go, you better buy it because it's probably not gonna be there next week. Here's a couple of examples. I recently saw a 4-day, 3-night trip to Maui, Hawaii for only $499. That includes the flight. You cannot beat that. That is absolutely incredible. And here's another one. This one is for 7 nights in Thailand for 2 people for only $399. And this one actually has some extra perks that I love. This Thailand trip includes daily breakfast, free transportation to and from the airport, a 3-course dinner for 2, and free cocktails. All for $399. Like, come on somebody. Like, this is insane. But I get these deals all the time. Okay, let's look at one more on Travelzoo. This one is for 7 nights in Costa Rica, including the flight and daily breakfast. And guess how much it is? Only $499. These prices are unheard of for these trips. And like I said, I've been buying from Travelzoo for years. If you know me or if you follow me on Instagram or anywhere on social media, and you should, my social media handle is below, then you know I'm always on a plane somewhere. If I stay too long in one spot, I start getting the heebie-jeebies and I gotta get on a plane and I gotta go somewhere. If I'm feeling that way, I'm heading immediately over to Travelzoo to find an amazing deal. Here's another couple things that I love about Travelzoo. Oftentimes, you don't even have to select your dates right away. You can buy now and literally book later. So if you see a deal that you know you have to have, but you don't quite know when you're going to go, you could go ahead and buy the deal right away on Travelzoo and not have to worry about selecting a date until you figure it out. And for those of you who are like, oh my gosh, Gwen, these prices sound way too good to be true. You're probably chilling in a roach motel somewhere in the middle of the hood or in the middle of nowhere, and you're freaking out because you don't know if the boogeyman is gonna come get you. I can assure you I have been on several of these trips and not once have I been in a roach motel or worried about the boogeyman coming to get me. And that is because of the other thing that I really love. Because on Travelzoo, they actually tell you the hotel or the resort that you're gonna be staying in. And all you have to do at that point is simply Google the name, check the reviews, and see what people are saying about it. For this purpose, I love to use TripAdvisor. I trust TripAdvisor's reviews because those reviews are from actual travelers who have actually stayed at those hotels and those resorts. And the last thing that I love about Travelzoo deals is that they are oftentimes refundable. And if they're not refundable, Travelzoo tells you that in the listing before you even buy. So it's not a surprise. But almost every trip I've taken through Travelzoo has been refundable. And I've actually had to use the refund option a couple times and gotten all my money back. So I really feel like you just cannot go wrong with Travelzoo. They have amazing customer service and I travel all over the world. And 9 times out of 10, I'm using a Travelzoo trip. Probably didn't pay more than $500 or $600 for it. Oh, and one more thing that I really love. I almost forgot to say this one. Travelzoo deals oftentimes allow you to take a child under a certain age for free. So that's how I'm usually able to get my son to go on these trips, and I'm only paying for one person because he's coming along for free $99. Sometimes it's kids under 15, sometimes it's kids under 13, sometimes it's kids under 3. It just kind of depends. You got to look at the listing and see what it says. But he's 13 years old as of the time I'm making this video, and most of the trips I take him on include a kid for free. The second way that I travel for cheap is through secretflying.com. Secret Flying will show you some of the best flight deals on the internet. And what's better is that they often have flight errors. So what is a flight error? A flight error is literally when the airline has literally made an error. Someone has typed in the wrong number and the flight error shows up on its website. Secretflying.com will then pull that error and post it on its website. So if someone at an airline accidentally types in $13 for a flight from Detroit to Portugal, as opposed to $1,300 like it's supposed to be, Secret Flying is going to share it. I literally flew from Detroit to Portugal for $13 because of a flight error that Secret Flying told me about. Now, I must caveat this because I don't want nobody coming for me saying, oh, I didn't get my $13 flight to whatever country, okay? It is up to the airline to honor their error. Secret Flying is not responsible if the airline does not honor the error that they made. I am not responsible if you buy the $13 flight and then the airline doesn't honor it. But if they don't honor it, they'll just cancel your flight and they'll refund you your money. So you don't have to worry about being out of your money or anything like that. You might just not have your flight. And usually they'll cancel it within 24 hours. So you'll know right away if you're going to be able to go on this flight or not. I'm going to give you my third tip on how to travel in luxury, but for cheap in just a second. But first, I want to invite you into the Get Money crew. It's 100% free. It's right on Facebook. And all you got to do is click the link in the show notes and request access to the group. In that group, I'm constantly dropping money gems every single day that help you get to a 7-figure net worth and beyond. So go ahead and click that button right now and go ahead and join the Get Money crew. Let me know in the comments below where your next trip is. My third way that I travel around the world for cheap is by booking a first class flight for an economy price. So if I go on Travelzoo and I book a trip, for example, and let's say that trip does not include the flight. And then if I go on Secret Flying and Secret Flying does not have a really good deal to wherever I'm trying to go, then my next move is to book my own flight. But there's a very good chance I'm going to get a first class seat by the time it's all over. Let me tell you how. This is exactly how you do it. First, you're going to book your flight and you're going to pay for economy. Make sure you select a seat that you would like to be sitting in because depending on where you're going, it might be a pretty long flight. Do not pay for first class or business class yet. Instead, you're going to wait 24 hours before the flight takes off, which is exactly the time when you can start to check in. Now, if and only if first class or business class is not already all sold out, the airline will often offer that first class or business class flight for way cheaper than it ever would have been had you booked it originally, because they make more money on first class and business class flights than economy flights. So if they can't get their full price from people originally booking it, they're going to do their best to at least get something out of it. And in those cases, they will sell them at a discount, oftentimes a steep discount. I've gotten first class flights for like $100 just by doing this. This works on every single airline that I've ever flown on. And I've been all around the world, so I've flown on a lot of airlines. I have to caveat this. I said if it's available. Now, if first class or business class is already completely sold out, then you're just out of luck. You're just going to be in your economy seat. So only use this strategy if you're okay with possibly being in an economy seat, and having a first class or business class seat would be a cherry on top. If you absolutely unequivocally have to have a first class or business class seat, then you go ahead and you book that at the time that you originally booked. That way you're going to guarantee that you have that type of seat. But if that doesn't really make a huge difference to you, then I would wait, because first class flights, especially internationally, can be super duper expensive. Like, depending on where you're going, it could be like $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 sometimes. But if you wait, which I have done, you can actually get that same seat for like $300. And if you're on a 24-hour flight, like from Detroit to somewhere in Africa, for example, that $300 is going to be well spent. But you can also use this for domestic flights as well. I've 100% flown from Detroit, which is where my airport is, first class, using the same strategy. And I got that upgrade for like $120, whereas the original first class flight was $2,500. If you combine all three of these strategies, or even just two of them, you could be traveling in luxury for literally an eighth of the price. Let me know in the comments below where your next trip is. For more tips like this, make sure you subscribe to the Get Money Show and that you share this video with a friend. Also, hit that like button for me, and I will catch you on the next episode of the Get Money Show. Peace.